It all started at Moore College Mission about 1998. Part of what we did from Wilberforce, having a mission there, was that we went to Arndell College and did some stuff there and worked with the school. And Bill Salia, who was the lecturer who was running the team, said, wouldn't it be good if we had a church here, that sort of idea. And that idea grabbed my attention, and then the idea became a let's have a go at it, let's invite some people to be involved, and we opened in 2000.
Easter 2000, we opened the doors with 15 adults on the church planning team, and Pete McCarthy was also part of that.
I remember being really young and we had church in the library, I think, at one point, and then in the gym.
I remember he told us later, some bloke said to him, there's this Christian college, it'd be the ideal place to have a church, and that obviously got into Greg's mind, and God kept pushing him with that.
We started in the classroom, then we moved
to the gym.
But I always remember Deb Northwood walking around with 2 air fresheners every time like this to try and make it much more bearable.
And so just the memory of a small group of people doing everything.
So our first band was a CD player. I think we had CDs and it wasn't cassettes at that stage, and we used to do karaoke to Colin Buchanan,
and then Mandy joined us, and so we had actual live music, which was great. That was probably in about the second year.
I actually started at St John's Wilberforce. I found out they were still looking for musicians to help at Arndell, so I offered to go and help.
So it was a fair bit of setup every day.
And all the instruments and the artificial plants.
Yeah, Ken and Anne, I remember they went and bought all these artificial trees, and that was really cool.
I remember having conversations with Ken Sandell about whether it was important or not how we set up the fake trees in the gym because the space was so big, and how to do that.
There was no standard for it, so we just did what we thought would work. Some things worked, some things didn't. Sometimes we had church outside, most times we had it inside. But it was really cool sitting there looking out the windows on a nice day, seeing the blue sky, the gum trees, hearing the roof creaking.
It grew after that, slowly but surely, and I can remember starting off youth group with some of the ladies. So we'd do energy at Arndell as well on a Friday afternoon, and then come back on Sunday. It was kind of like you were at school 7 days a week.
We went from the gym to the hall at Arndell, the auditorium, where we felt like a very small bunch of people, and a very big auditorium.
Arndell and Pitt Town were sort of separate, even though we were together for a while. And then what soon became clear as a new estate was coming in that Pitt Town Church didn't have many young people.
I was the first kid at Arndell, first child born there. I went along because that was what my family did, and when I was 10, I think I started playing drums there and became more involved in the church. And
so going to church every Sunday was what me and the family did. Yeah, it was running amok around Arndell School. It just became what was normal for me, and I started just expecting that to happen every week, and it didn't really have a meaning until I got older in life.
So we actually found it much easier then to come to Pitt Town, to something that was in the community, and then we had people coming in asking us for baptism and weddings and things that we'd never been asked for at Arndell.
We were going to get Paige baptised, and we wanted to use the church at Pitt Town, and Greg encouraged us to do 3 Bible studies before he let us use the church for Paige's baptism. Greg came to our place for the first Bible study. I was a little taken back. He wasn't what I expected of a church minister or pastor. He was relaxed, he had a footy jersey on, and so I started sneaking off to church on a Sunday night by myself without the family. and investigating this Jesus.
We found out fairly early that young children were our major connecting point.
Say, for example, Jane and Terry Herder, they ended up coming to Arndell when we were still there because their son Ben wanted to come to the fun days that had been advertised in the school.
Early 2000s, 2002, 2003, so we had two little kids, Ben and Mel, and they were going to Arndell School. Particularly they had things called the Super Sundays at Arndell. Every now and again they put on a special Sunday. They have jumping castles and balloons and face painting and things like that, just to encourage parents to bring their kids along. So, and that worked for us, so that's what we did.
We did because we needed a good babysitting service.
That's right, yep.
Yep, and that's what we thought. It was just going to end there at babysitting, but little did we know that God was doing other things for us.
When I was in preschool, my mum befriended a woman called Kim Andrews, and she invited her to what was Arndell Church at the time. And I actually decided that I wasn't interested at that time. I was going through my teenager phase, so I walked away from God. And then a few years later, when I was about 19, I decided that I wanted to follow Jesus again.
A mate from school asked me to come to church with him, and I promised myself I wouldn't go after that because it wasn't cool. And so I came, and specifically Brett Redmond was chatting to me because I already knew him, and as I was leaving he was like, "Oh, so good that you came, I'll see you next week." And I was like, "Yep." Damn it. And so I came next week because I got myself in, and then I think just the relationships and just that people loved me because they loved Jesus.
Well, we both had really good friends at Pitt Town, and we still do. It was easy in a lot of senses.
So a lot of joy just in being around people who wanted to grow, who were enthusiastic.
I guess we were still convicted that the world is bigger than Pitt Town, and as hard as it was to go, I think it's been worth it.
We both really love that Pitt Town as a community and as a church has been really excited to be part of our mission and sending us. It wasn't as if the church community was reluctant or felt obliged to get behind us, but felt like it was a real joy, and so that's really encouraging to us.
And lots of group activities for all different ages, all during the week. We've got a kids worker, Blake, who does groups on a Friday afternoon.
I think I've always found it super encouraging about our church is that there has been at first lots of young families, and there still is, lots of young families that want their kids to come to know and to love Jesus, but also just appreciated all of the kids' ministries that were going on throughout the years. Enjoyed seeing other teenagers and younger guys that cared about Jesus and wanted me to know and to love Jesus.
For me, I had some really awesome youth leaders who really encouraged me with my faith, and I just want to continue what they did for me and the love they showed for me, just showing that little part that I can do to share God's love with everyone.
But we've grown a lot while we've been here at Pitt Town, and
there's a fair bit of a team here and lots of very engaged lay people involved in it.
We've been in McGraths Hill now for the past about 5 years, and our church was in Glendenning. After a couple of years of battling with the decision, trying to pluck up the courage, we made the decision, we made the transition, and that was at the beginning of this year.
We got married last November. Decided to start a new church together.
I had an old minister who served at Pitt Town for a couple of years. He knew Greg, and he said that Greg was very mission focused, looked out to the community and wanted to bring them in to know Jesus.
We decided to visit Pitt Town first. We ended up checking out the other church.
The way that we summarise it is we really want to see people who are compelled by Christ's love to follow him and to help others follow him, guided by the Bible. And by that, we is expanded by our vision, our mission and our values. So that's the way of helping people to remember that, that's what we want to see. Christ's love moving people to follow him and help others follow him, and letting God tell us how that's done in many ways by using his word to do that.
And for the church, I'd just love to see more people in the Pitt Town community and the wider area get involved, because if it can have the same profound effect on other families that it's had on ours, then I would wish that for everybody, because it's just been an amazing experience for us. And
it seems slow at times, but when you look back over that many years, you can see what God's been doing.
Our hope as a family at Pitt Town is that people will feel a sense of belonging when they come to our church and actually see it as a place where they can belong, no matter what background they come from.
You look around church, you see all the different age groups, different types of people. There's only one thing that we all have in common, and it's not that we all like riding motorbikes, as some of us do. It's not like we all like fishing or gaming or anything like that. The one single thing is Jesus. He's the one thing that brings us all together.
So the future looks good, and I reckon we're only just beginning.
Yeah.